All right, let's get right into it. We are going to break down the single biggest mistake that most guys are making in dating. The one that absolutely kills attraction right on the spot. And then we're going to lay out the exact playbook for how to fix it. This isn't about learning some cheesy pickup lines. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see dating and really how you show up as a man.
So check this out. It all starts with this quote, a simple kind of brutal response from a waitress named Jessica. Someone asked her how she feels when a guy is constantly asking, "So, what do you want to do?" And this was her answer. No hesitation. "It irritates me." Now, this isn't just one woman's opinion. This is a huge clue, a window into a massive dating mistake. So, what is causing that irritation?
And here it is. The number one mistake is being passive. It's that classic nice guy move where you basically force the woman to take the lead. It's that awful endless loop of, "I don't know, what do you feel like doing?" When you do this, you're not being nice or accommodating. You're actually ducking your responsibility, and you're forcing her into a masculine role she does not want to be in. And when that happens, you risk ending up in a very specific and very undesirable category. And that category has a pretty brutal name: the girlfriend with a penis. This is the guy she calls for advice, the guy she cries to about other dudes, but he is never the guy she feels that raw, physical, sexual attraction for. This is the friend zone on steroids, and it's the direct result of a man who fails to lead. It's a harsh term, for sure, but it really drives home what's at stake here. So how do we make sure this never happens to you?
Okay, section 1. Lead like a man. This is the core principle. This is the fix.
And this is probably the most important thing to get straight right out of the gate. Leading is not controlling. It's not the same thing at all. Leading is being decisive. Controlling is being manipulative. Leading is all about integrity and respect. Controlling is just selfish. A leader invites a woman to come along on his plan. He doesn't force her. He provides a sense of security. A controller is just abusive. If you can understand this one distinction, you are already halfway there. Think about it like this. A car only has one steering wheel for a reason, right? Someone has to decide where it's going. If you're constantly trying to get her to grab the wheel, the car just starts swerving all over the road, and she's going to get frustrated and, frankly, terrified. So why is this so damn important? Well, the core idea here is that women are, by their nature, security-seeking creatures. And let's be super clear. When we say security, we're not talking about your bank account. Security for her means not having to guess, not having to wonder what you're thinking or where things are going. A man with a plan, a man who is decisive, that's a man she can relax around and feel safe with. But the moment she's forced to take charge, that feeling of safety evaporates, and her sexual desire for you goes right along with it. Poof, gone. All right, section 2. Let's get practical. Directing the first date. This is your first test. So this starts from the very first moment you ask her out. Use what we'll call the one-option rule. So no more, "Hey, we should do something sometime." That's dead. Instead, you're specific. "Let's grab a drink at the Midnight Bar, Thursday at 8. You see? You give her a concrete plan. This makes her job super easy. All she has to do is make one simple decision: yes or no. It shows confidence and makes it incredibly simple for her to join your world. Now, once you're actually on the date, you keep directing. You lead physically. Open her car door, put your hand on the small of her back to guide her through a crowded bar. You lead the conversation. If she starts complaining about her ex, you playfully change the subject to something fun. You tease her, you bust on her a little, you make her laugh. And, this is a big one, you decide when the date is over. Don't let it drag on till it gets awkward. And this even applies to ending the date, even if it's going great. Let's say she's really into you and she's trying to get you to come home with her. Instead of just jumping at the chance, you take control. With a little smirk, you hit her with something like, "Whoa there, Speedy, I'm not that kind of guy." This is a total power move. It flips the script, it shows you have standards, that you're not desperate, and it will drive her crazy, wanting more. It's a massive display of value. Okay, section 3, setting relationship terms. This is all about maintaining your frame, which is really just a way of saying, you keep leading, you keep operating by your standards, and you don't give up your power as things get more serious. So here are the essential drills. First, no endless good morning texts and phone calls in the early stages. The phone is for one thing: logistics. Setting up dates, that's it. Second, you have to protect your autonomy. Never, ever give up your friends or your hobbies for a girl. It shows her you have a life and a purpose that don't revolve around her. Third, do not defend yourself. Arguing or trying to justify your actions just screams weakness. State your position calmly and leave it at that. And finally, you have to be willing to walk away. If she disrespects you, the relationship has to be on the line. Your self-respect is non-negotiable.
All right, last section, and this is the big one. Embracing rejection. Because all this stuff sounds great in theory, but it brings up the biggest obstacle for most guys, that paralyzing fear of rejection. So let's flip the script on that.
You know, the Buddha said that attachment is the cause of all suffering. And man, in dating, is that true? Your attachment to a specific outcome, like you have to get her number, you have to get a yes, that is the source of all your anxiety. If you're worried about the outcome, you will never have the courage to actually lead. The secret is to let go of that attachment.
This leads to a massive mindset shift. You have to drill this into your head. A woman's response is never personal. Her saying no has absolutely nothing to do with your value as a man. It is not a judgment on you. It is just a data point. It means she has low interest. That's it. You collect the data and you move on. And that brings us to the single most powerful drill for absolutely destroying this fear, the rejection assignment. The goal is simple. I want you to go out and intentionally get rejected 3 times this week. Approach women, be direct, ask for what you want, and your goal is to get a no. Yeah, it sounds completely insane, but trust me, it is a game changer. Because here's the crazy paradox. When you actively try to get rejected, your anxiety just plummets. Why? Because you've already accepted the quote-unquote worst-case scenario. And this creates this incredible feedback loop. Your anxiety goes down, which makes you more confident, and that confidence makes you approach more, which builds even more confidence. You'll be shocked at how many times you fail this assignment by actually succeeding. So we're going to leave you with this question. What if everything you've been taught to fear is actually the very thing you should be running towards? What if rejection isn't failure? What if it's the key? The key that unlocks the confidence, the leadership, and the exact dating life you've always wanted. Think about that.